Good morning and welcome to Clickbait and Coffee. Forrest from Alabama was the first one in here at 7:39 this morning. Guys, we're going to wait just a minute, get some people in here. When you can hear me, give me a 2x4 on the audio, and then we can start this joker up. It is Friday, and I am happy, but I've got a lot to do this weekend. So, guys, tell me when y'all can hear me, and we'll start this joker going. The weather's supposed to be awesome from what I heard somebody talking. I quit looking at the weather sometimes, but let me see. It's 70 today. Today's going to be warmer. It's going to be 88, but we got a about 55% chance of rain. Tomorrow's like 65% here, but it's Saturday's only going to be 69 for a high. So, but it's going to look pretty good. Fall is summer closing out, and fall will be here before we know it. I mean, leaves are already falling around here. There's a bunch of leaves in the driveway. So I have noticed that. So it is getting cooler in the at night and everything like that. So, but guys, what's everybody's plans for the weekend? What have y'all been up to this week? You got big plans, big projects. I mean, it's getting cooler outside to where it's not near as miserable to work outside. I totally despise when it's, like 90 degrees and 90% humidity, and just kind of sucks. You walk outside and it's like, boom, you start sweating just as soon as you walk outside. So, but we're going to talk about topic today. I came up with it, and a lot of people get confused and stuff like that. You see a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about basic first aid versus trauma care. So we're going to kind of go over that, what should be in your basic first aid kit and your trauma gear and stuff like that, and kind of some of the differences on that. So we'll talk about that. First, we're going to do a new sponsor for the show, or what a new sponsor, not going to drop the other one or anything like that. The show is made possible by y'all buying products on the website. So the sustainability store at KentuckySustainable.com is a sponsor for it. Go over there and check it out. We have got all our first aid kits, medical equipment, gauze, Band-Aids, wound care stuff. We've got that. We've also got our pre-programmed radios with consultations on the website. So check that stuff out. It is on there, and the sustainability store is the sponsor for the show. And I appreciate y'all going over there and buying stuff. All right. We've got, let's see. Forrest. This whole weekend is catching up on things that fell through the cracks over the last few weeks. I'm the same way, Forrest. I've got so much stuff to do. I've still not finished painting everything in the house, and I'm probably going to work on that some Saturday. I've really got to get these bookcases done or before my wife kills me. We've got built-in bookcases on each side of the fireplace, and I put the first coat on a color that we had picked, and once we got the furniture in there, it looked hideous with that furniture, and she's like, we've got to pick a different color. So we picked a different color, and now I'm probably going to, do a light sand on these bookcases and work on painting those this weekend. Not excited about it, but good inside project for us. And Bill, good morning. How are you, Bill? And let me see. I went out and got supplies ready for the piglets. You're excited. Hey, those things, what'd you say, like the 11th or the 17th, something like that, is when she's due. So you'll be excited about that. The nice thing, if they're due here in the next little bit, you won't have to worry about it being too cold for them. We've had piglets born when it's been miserably cold, and it has not been fun. Of course, we weren't expecting it one time. And I'm like, man, we got to get a heat lamp in there for these guys, close the barn up, and make sure that those piglets stay warm and don't freeze to death. So, but yeah, the 21st is when they're due. Hey, I want to see a video of those jokers once they're due. I mean, people will like that for sure. So shoot a video of that if you can get some video, Bill. We my youngest one's birthday was yesterday, so we did birthday stuff for a little bit. We're gonna do birthday party for him on Sunday for the family, and then next weekend we're doing a birthday party with all his buddies and that kind of stuff. They've got it all planned out. He wants some of his buddies to do some stuff, and so we're going to take the kids and run around and do all that fun stuff. But the cool thing is we had a baseball game last night, and it was actually on his birthday, and and they won their baseball game. He ended up hitting a double, and then second time he was up, he walked, but he scored both times. So I'm like, good deal. But he was excited to win his baseball game on his birthday, so I was happy for him. Then we went out to dinner with my mom last night. So, and Bill says, I'm going to do my best to get it videoed. Yeah, even if you can't get it, the actual birth being video, get some video after it. It seems like people love baby pigs. I mean, I did a short of me catching pigs on YouTube. I was catching the darn things with a fishing net, and what was it? TikTok kicked it off, and they said it went against community guidelines, but a bunch of people had watched it, and then I think it stayed up on YouTube. It was either one or the other. One of them kicked it off, and it said that it went against community standards. So, so I don't know. All right. Hey, one of the things news-wise, I don't know if y'all saw this, but it's federal agents arrest hundreds at a Hyundai plant construction site in Georgia. And it says around 450 illegals were arrested Thursday in a major immigration enforcement raid. They were working at the Hyundai electric car plant in Georgia. I'm going to call that a win and good news. I mean, the more people we can round up and deport, that's awesome. I mean, so 450 is just a start. And then it was saying, because apparently Hyundai is a South Korean company. The South Koreans are kind of pissed about it. And it's like, there's not going to be as much work getting done. We want to get this thing built. So they're kind of pissed off about it. But I'm going to call it a win. Good news. There's 450 more illegal immigrants that were arrested. What we're going to do with those guys, really don't know. They ought to ship them right back across the border, in my opinion. So... And that says it was one of the largest raids in U.S. manufacturing site in years. So that's pretty cool. I'm happy they're, doing these raids. I talked to one guy that's a federal agent the other day that I know, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, we've got an ICE raid in a couple days. He didn't tell me where or anything like that, but they're typically he does not work. Excuse me. Typically, he does not work in that department, but they're like, yeah, we're helping ICE do this. And I was like, okay. I was like, that sounds fun. And then also he was telling me that he has to do some other stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. I was like, let's get the ball rolling on this and keep deporting these people. And you'll have to excuse me. I got some drainage this morning. So, let me see. Bill, I'm running electricity out to the pig house just in case I need a heat lamp, but I also have video for lighting. Yeah, that's the thing. You got to keep those jokers warm, and the temperatures are going to be getting down. I mean, we're going to be dipping down in the low or upper 50, something like that. Yeah. I mean, Monday night's going to be a 50 for a low, so it might be good. What we've always done with the piglets when we've had a sow that's going to go and give birth, we always take a bunch of hay or a bunch of straw down there and put in where she can build her little nest and all that stuff. And but the hard part is keeping the sow from rolling over on the babies because they want to get right up underneath her. And I mean, when you got 10 or 11 babies that you're watching after, sometimes it's kind of a pain, Just imagine if you had 10 newborn babies and you had to make sure all of them were good and going, that you wouldn't squash one. So just watch out for that, Bill. We've had problems with that in the past. So another article, let me find it. Come on, you stupid thing. Ah, man. Let me see. Let me find it. Forrest, anyone else nervous on how early winter might cold and how cold it could get this year? I've heard Ryan Hall did. Hold on, let me stop. Story breaking right now. News anytime, every time. Stop. All right. Yeah, Forrest, I've heard Ryan Hall did a video on it that it was supposed to be a pretty cold and snowy winter and wet. And then I think the Farmer's Almanac also also said something about it, that this year was going to be cold and a lot of snow, which hopefully it won't get super, super cold for too awful long. But I mean, I like it where we get, some snowfall and stuff like that. But I like it where, we'll get 6 inches of snow and it's gone in like 2 days. But it's time to start getting all your winter stuff going and your winter preps and all that stuff in for sure. But I'm not super nervous about it, but I do know that I need to order more propane because they're doing a sale on propane right now. So, because I got an email the other day that the propane company is still doing their summer rates. So I'm gonna go ahead and top this off. I really wish, and I need to start looking. I would like to we've got a 500-gallon propane tank for the house, and we run a dual fuel system to where we're running, if it's 35 degrees and above, we're running electric for the heat pump. And then once it drops below 35 degrees, your heat pumps aren't super efficient. So after 35 degrees, we kick on propane. So typical winters, we're looking, we can go almost 2 winters on 500-gallon tank, but I would like to get another 500-gallon tank and daisy chain those together where I'd have 2 500-gallon tanks of propane sitting there. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully I can look on Marketplace and find some relatively cheap. So that's one of the things that I need to look at, and that just reminded me about that. I'm gonna make a note. Hacks for the Homesteader. Darren's here. Good morning. Let's see. Bill says tomorrow's high is supposed to be 73. I'm cleaning the house out and putting in new hay today. I'm putting a 2x4 across the back corner where the heat lamp for the piglets can get away from the sow. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Just make sure you're careful with that heat lamp that it doesn't get knocked off and then start a fire. That's one of the scariest things about using a stinking heat lamp is, getting knocked over and catching fire and stuff like that. For when we've got chicks in our brooder. I forgot. McMurray Hatchery. They sent us a bunch of stuff for one of the festivals, and it sent us a bunch of chicks. And she sent one of the heat plates. And man, I tell you what, I really like that heat plate. There's nothing to catch fire or anything like that. And it's got the screw adjustable legs where you can raise it up as the chicks get bigger and they can get underneath it. Super safe on that. I like those. And we pretty much started using it instead of the heat lamps now for chicks. But out on the piglets, you're kind of stuck with the heat lamp for sure. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, Bill. That's the biggest concern is making sure the heat lamp is secured. I tell you what I've done. My heat lamp has got the clamp-on base to it. So what I'll wind up doing is clamping it on the side of the building, and then I wind up screwing that thing in where it really can't go anywhere. It's a pain in the butt when you have to take it off, but I know if it's that hard to take off for me, it's probably not going to get knocked over. So, all right. One of the other things I wanted to glance at, and I was glancing at Fox News in a couple places this morning. Apparently, Dearborn Heights in Michigan, the police department trots out a, quote, optional patch featuring Arabic and English text. So the Dearborn Heights Police Department in Michigan, they've announced there's an optional patch that includes both Arabic and English text. The patch includes words Dearborn Heights and police written in both English and Arabic. So, and it says, quote, the Dearborn Heights Police Department is proud to share a new optional patch that our officers may wear as part of their uniform. They said this on a Facebook post. And And then it says, this patch was created by Officer Emily Murdoch, who designed it to reflect and honor the diversity of our community, especially the many residents of Arabic descent who call Dearborn Heights home. What a crock of shit. We're in the United States, but, and this is the whole thing, if you're going to speak Spanish, you know, press 1 for English and 2 for Spanish. This is along the same lines. Why in the hell? We're in the United States of America. Everybody should be speaking English. Yes, if you want to speak Spanish as a second language or you want to speak Arabic as a second language, cool, go for it. But we should not have to change our policies as Americans that we speak English to accommodate somebody that speaks a foreign language. It pisses me off when I see stuff like this. It's stupidity, and no telling how much the police department spent on this, because you know the government is great on saving money. I mean, I bet these patches, I know how much patches cost. I've just got patches. We've gotten patches done. I've bought patches before. I know how much those patches cost. They probably spent, I guarantee when it's all said and done, those patches probably cost $200 or $300 a person by the time you've got somebody, quote, designing it and then all the stuff to get it. Just think how much they cost and how much the Dearborn Police Department spent of taxpayers' money to make these idiotic patches. So it's got some Arabic to make, you know, to coddle the Arabic community up there. I don't see where the Arabic community up there is doing anything great. You know, it's like quit doing it. It's lunacy in my opinion. I think it's just total stupidity doing that. So we'll get off the horse about that. But yeah, look at it. I mean, I don't know. It just really gets my goat when I see stuff like that. It's like that, and then it goes along too with the people that, with the people, you know, all these foreign truck drivers that can't read signs. You know, that one truck driver that was doing an illegal U-turn in his semi-truck and then wound up killing those people. I mean, apparently he couldn't read English, and they're putting truck drivers on the road that can't read English, that can't read maps, any kind of stuff like that. I got down that rabbit hole, all these Arabic truck drivers that they're in the bathrooms washing their feet in the sinks and stuff like that, and then they're crapping in plastic bags and throwing them in trash cans and all this stuff, and it's like, this is stupid. So I don't know, it just gets my goat about all that. So all right, let's see. Bill says, I'm actually getting one of the new plastic housing lamps. I've not seen those. We've got the old school metal ones and everything. And then Darren Hacks for the Homesteader. We started dropping our dead standing wood yesterday. We're going to stack it high. Yeah, I can imagine, especially being in Kansas, it's going to get cold and snowy and nasty in Kansas. And I'm glad we're in Kentucky. And how many owner's manuals are dictionary thick because of 14 languages included? Exactly. Hell, what was it? I opened the other day. Daggone. Oh, I got a new weed eater head. I've got an Echo, and it's got that speed feed head on it, and the thing finally, you know, gave up its ghost. So I bought a new one of those, and I was I needed to look at something on it to figure out how to do it. And I searched and finally found the stinking English part. And the English part was like buried in there. And I'm like, finally found it. And there was like 14 different languages on it. And it literally pissed me off. I'm like, why can I not just find it right then when I need it? So let's see. Forrest is throwing some kind of crap in here. I guess Forrest can speak Arabic. Who knows? Forrest can do a lot of crap. But yes, Team America. I don't want to push one for English. I want everything to be English when I call. And then it's like, I don't know. It's just, it's stupidity. What was it? Somebody was telling me that they had all these translators, and somebody was trying to speak, and they had to get a translator to do this and a translator to do this. And I'm just like, holy crap. I'm like, if you're going to come over here and learn the language. So I don't know. It gets my goat. But all right. Hey guys. Also, Combat Midwife, October 25th. That's going to be something that you don't want to miss. That's going to be an awesome class. Yes, the class is kind of expensive for a one-day class, but I think it is going to be well worth it. I'm excited to be there and to get to go through that class. It's something that kind of interests me. I am done. Me and my wife having kids, so we don't have to worry about that. But if one of your friends in your group, in your mag, your community, somebody send them to come and learn it. It's an awesome skill to have. You might not ever use it, but it's something awesome to have for sure. Also, land navigation class. Mike Atkins is going to be teaching that. Also, if you've not gotten Mike's books, Edge of the Precipice, go check it out on Amazon. He's got 2 out now. He's got the 3rd one coming out later on. I think he said 4th quarter of this year. But Mike is going to come down and teach that. That is November 8th and 9th, and that's at Barren River Lake State Park. So I'm super excited about that. That is going to be a fun class. The first day is going to be classroom stuff, learning how to read your maps, learning how to use your compass and your equipment, and doing that. And then the second day is going to be out in the field, going over the course that him and I are going to set up a couple days before. We're going to be doing that. Brian and Susan with S&B Homestead Radio are coming up for that, and they're going to run all our communications for us. So you'll get land navigation stuff, but you'll also get a little bit of commo stuff, and we'll be using radios and stuff so we can talk back to the we've got a pavilion rented for it, so we can talk back to the pavilion, stuff like that. It's going to be pretty stinking cool. I'm super excited about that. Also, the last thing we've got for right now, we've got more classes that we're planning. I'm excited about that. We've got some stuff behind the scenes that Shelly and I and a couple other people are working on to get going. And those will be happening after the first of the year. But herbal class, Leslie with the School of Earth and All is going to be December 6th. She's going to do an advanced herbal class, kind of beyond tinctures and salves, and teach that. So that's going to be a really good class to come. That's December 6th. That's a one-day class. And all the workshops are on the website. So run over there, check the workshops out, see what's going on. Also, first aid kits, medical, all that, pre-programmed radios are on the website, in stock, ready to ship out. So, and we will get into the topic in just a minute. Bill, there isn't another country that speaks and learns English to accommodate the tourist. Exactly. I just don't understand why we're the ones that do it. We bend over backwards for all these people that come in. It's like, learn the stinking language. If we went overseas, they would expect us to learn the language. They wouldn't accommodate for us. And then Forrest, I've heard that ever since language law for truck drivers took effect, flip-flop sales at Lowe's have plummeted. Probably so. And I've seen some of that on TikTok. It's like, you're not a professional driver if you're driving in flip-flops and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, man, this is getting crazy. But I mean, I do for a safety concerns, you should be proficient in the English language to be able to drive a semi. I think you should be proficient in the English language to have a driver's license of any kind in the United States. Because if you can't read the signs, how in the world do you know where you're going? It's crazy to me. You know, you're driving and you're driving to Nashville, and you see the exit sign to take, for Nashville, or if you're going to go to Old Hickory Boulevard, something like that. If you can't read the sign, how do you know where to go? I mean, I guess you could plug the GPS in and turn the GPS to Arabic or Spanish or something like that, and it'd tell you where to go, but they're not going to tell you all the other little road signs and stuff like that. So, they're not going to tell you no right turn here and stuff like that. You're going to have to be able to read the signs. But we ought to start a thing, and it should be, no driver's license whatsoever unless you are totally fluent in English. Let's see, Bill. Dove season is open in a lot of states this weekend. I think dove season. I think dove season opened the last weekend here because I saw a bunch of guys at the edge of cornfields, or a bunch of trucks parked at the edge of cornfields, and I think it started last weekend. I am not a dove hunter. We used to dove hunt a bunch. I don't know. I might go out and find a spot to do it. I mean, heck, I could sit in the front yard and plenty of doves roll across here every day. But I don't know. I might ask Lincoln if it's not going to rain too much. I might ask him, be like, "Hey, do you want to shoot some doves?" He's probably all up for it. So Bill says that's why they're making most of the signage pictures only. Yeah, that's why. So Bill, and I think it was last weekend, at least for Kentucky. I'm not 100% sure, but I tell you what, dove, I'm just not a huge fan of dove. We used to go dove hunting all the time, and it was pretty much an excuse to get your cooler and sit on the cooler most of the day and drink some beers and hang out with your buddies. But it's been years since I've been dove hunting. So we might start it up. Who knows? I would like to do some more duck hunting. It's been years since I've been duck hunting. And I always enjoyed duck hunting with my buddies. Lincoln said he wanted to go deer hunting, so we might wind up going out and popping a deer once deer, or at least when gun season comes in. He's not going to be much on bow hunting right now. And Bill, dove breast poppers are amazing. Yes. Hey, I'll tell you what else are amazing. My wife cooked one time. They were duck poppers or something like that with they were wrapped in bacon. They had cream cheese and jalapeno on them. She made those, and I was like, holy crap, those things are freaking awesome. I enjoyed those, and I've told her several times, I'm like, can you make some more of those? And she's never done it. So we will see on that. All right. Topic of the day. And tell me your thoughts on this, what y'all are thinking about it. And this is kind of on the heels of let's see, Saffron Bay. Let's see what she says before we get in here. I knew a guy who could not read at all but knew English. He was an old man and could drive anywhere. He asked questions to know where to turn based on landmarks. Well, and nobody knew he couldn't read. Well, that's interesting right there. So, but I probably bet he was an American citizen, wasn't he? And not somebody that'd come over. So I guarantee there's probably still some old guys that couldn't read very well, but at least they knew. I don't know. There's a difference in all that. Let's see. Dove breast slow cook and onion soup is a great tasting option. That sounds good. I've never done that. Let's see. Not saying I would approve that as a professional driver, and yes, he was American. Yeah, the professional driver might be a little different. The old dude driving his farm truck on the back roads, yeah, we'll cut a little bit of slack on that deal. So, but not when you're operating, an 80,000-pound vehicle and not knowing how to drive, and they're not knowing how to read. So, all right. Following up on the heels of me going down, John, good morning. Glad to have you here. Appreciate you being here. On the heels of me getting back from TAC Response last weekend at their Immediate Action Medical, I was looking through and thinking of some topics and stuff like that. I've got trauma first aid versus trauma care, and differences in it, differences in stuff that you should have. So I got in after we ate dinner, all that kind of stuff, kind of typed up a few things so I could save it and go back and play with it a little bit more and update it and stuff like that. So, all right. Differences between basic first aid and trauma care. So when you're sitting there, I mean, you're in the house, you're cutting vegetables, something like that for dinner, you cut your finger. That's going to be your basic first aid, to where trauma care stuff is life-threatening injuries, gunshot wound, chainsaw incident, something like that. Both of them are medical issues, but there's different skill and different gear and different preparations for that. So kind of your differences. First, your basic first aid is boo-boos and stuff like that. Stuff that is not going, essentially, for lack of a better term, something that's not going to kill you. It's the cuts on your finger, scrapes, bruises, light sprains, stuff like that. Stuff you treat every day. You know, I get cuts and stuff. I mean, heck, I've got a little blood blister that I popped that came up yesterday. My wife looked at my hand. She's like, "That looks like a tick on your hand." And I was like, "It's just I pinched myself doing something at work." So, but that's your cuts, your scrapes, your everyday stuff. Trauma stuff is stuff that's going to kill you very quickly if it's not taken care of and taken to a higher level of care. If you can't stabilize the patient and get them somewhere else, or you're going to stabilize the patient until EMS arrives on scene to take them to a higher level of care. So your basic first aid covers everyday injuries and medical issues that you're going to face, you know, stuff that you're going to have around your house, around your farm, on the job site, and stuff like that. So you're looking cuts, scrapes, burns, blisters, insect bites, nosebleeds, and minor sprains and strains stuff. You know, you roll your ankle, that kind of stuff. You cut yourself while you're working down in the shop. You need to clean it off, get a Band-Aid. And that's stuff that you're going to face day-to-day life and stuff like that. You need to know how to properly clean that wound. That's one of the big things is when you've got a cut, scrape, something like that, clean that thing out, get it bandaged to where no more dirt and junk like that are going to get in there where it stays clean, so you got less of a chance of it getting infected. So, I mean, a good stocked, like your basic first aid kit, not talking about trauma injuries, anything like that. You've got Band-Aids in there, tons of Band-Aids. You've got gauze, tape. I don't care how much gauze you have, you probably don't have enough. But that's going to get into long-term wound care and stuff like that. I have, even before we started selling medical supplies, I have cases and cases of gauze, because if you look at it, if you've got a wound that you're going to have to treat, let's just say you've got a small, you're out cutting some wood and you get a small cut on your leg, either from an axe, a chainsaw, something like that. You're going to have to deal with that wound for probably 2 weeks plus. So you're going to have to bandage that wound every day, clean it out, and all that. So just think, if you're using two things of gauze a day for 2 weeks, so then you're looking at 14 things. That's 28 gauze. I mean, that's right there is half a case of gauze. You might be using more gauze than that. So I know our cases of gauze, they come in 100 count. So you're going to use half a case of gauze on that. And then you're like, man, I've only got 1 case of gauze. I should have bought some more. So you're probably never going to have enough gauze. You're never going to have enough Band-Aids, stuff like that. So good morning, Mike Shepard. Mike, are you driving your trolley today in Owensboro? I hope you're not, if you're commenting on this. So some other stuff for your well-stocked, your basic first aid kit: antiseptic wipes and cleaners, alcohol wipes, stuff like that to clean. We've got like the small, they look like the little moist towelettes that you get when you're eating ribs at the barbecue place. But these are a cleansing towelette that you can clean your wound, your cuts, your scrapes, stuff like that. Also, alcohol pads for cleaning that is a good choice to have before you bandage the wound. Burn creams, triple antibiotic ointments. We've got the small little packs, the little individual packs of burn cream. That stuff works amazing. I keep a ton of those in my truck to put on there. Also, your sting and bite pads. We've got those. They're little sting and bite wipes. So if you get stung by a wasp, bitten by an insect, something like that, you can crack that thing open, rub it on there, and it's going to take the pain and stuff like that away. So those are great to have. Tweezers, scissors are good to have in there, picking splinters out. I keep a pair of tweezers sitting on the console of the truck because I'm constantly getting splinters. So you're constantly picking those jokers out all the time. I despise getting those. And then OTC meds, your pain relievers, Benadryl, your antihistamines, electrolyte packets. Electrolyte packets might be going a little too far, but if you keep those if you've got a basic first aid bag in your truck, the electrolytes are good stuff to have in there. So that's kind of your basic first aid. You're never going to have enough gauze and Band-Aids and stuff like that. So buy those jokers in bulk. Most of the time they're cheaper if you buy them in bulk. I know if you buy case lot quantities on our website, they're a lot cheaper than if you're just buying one or two. Let's see. So Fron, my dad treated severe second-degree burns from hot melted plastic from injecting molding machines with the Corona horse salve cream for years, like it was minor first aid, and it always healed with an infection. Does that mean without an infection? But yes, I mean that horse salve is pretty good stuff. And you can treat a lot of stuff at your house. I mean, you can treat a lot of stuff like that if you know how to do it. And part of that is getting the training on knowing how to do it for sure. Good morning, Jason Jennings. And Jason said, one of the best things I have in my first aid kit is a bottle of peroxide and a bottle of alcohol with a spray nozzle. Cleans very well. Yes. And I don't know why they don't put more. I mean, when I've got tons of alcohol and tons of peroxide, but they put that stupid little squirt thing on there. I would like it if they put more of them with the spray nozzle because you waste so much crap. I mean, trying to pour it on there. I'm going to get some darn spray bottles and put to where I can fill those up and do a spray bottle of alcohol. I'll tell you what, we've got on the website. It's from Dynarex. It's a wound care spray that works pretty stinking good. It's in a bottle. And it's got the spray nozzle on it. So, I mean, you can hit right there where you need to clean that wound off. And it works great on doing that. But, yes, I'm going to write that down. Jason, thank you. And I'm going to get spray bottles today. And then once I take my big bottle of peroxide or my big bottle of alcohol, I'm going to pour it in there. Like a little 4-ounce bottle would be amazing to have sitting there. So, let's see. Mike says, I'm at work training a fella that got to get his CDLs. All right. Mike is back working part-time for the city of Owensboro doing some stuff. So, and Fran said, yes, without infection. Okay. All right. I was about to say that's not something to really brag about. My dad cured this, but got an infection every time. But that's kind of what I figured that you're saying without an infection. But that's awesome. Andrew Massey, good morning to you from Spring Hill, Tennessee. And then Melanie made it in here. Good morning, Melanie. Yeah, hit the like button and share it for me. I would appreciate it a bunch. So we've got 6 likes so far, but we got 17 people in here. So we need to up that. I mean, we need 11 more people to hit the thumbs up button. So, and Bill says, my wife found the brown glass spray bottles on Amazon. I'm going to have to check that out. That sounds awesome. Let me see. John McMillan. So basically, duct tape and paper towels do not make a first aid kit. Hey, John, truth in advertising, I've been out. This was years ago. We were pouring, we had just got done pouring a pool deck, a big pool deck. We probably had 15 yards of concrete down. I went and grabbed one of my steel trowels. We're going to start finishing. And I was coming across, sometimes your steel trowels will get a little bit of cream built up if you don't clean them good enough. So I've got a stone, and I was coming across getting that. And those steel trowels are like razors after you use those. I cut into my finger. I ended up getting 5 stitches. It was cut to the stinking bone because I had one of the guys look, because I'm just like, look at it, tell me how bad. I took duct tape. I was like, I cannot leave right now. Hey, I've got it up. I've got it up to 8 likes, thumbs up. We need some more. We need 10 more to get in here. So do it. Hit the thumbs up button. But yes, John, I took duct tape and I put a Band-Aid on there and then took duct tape and wrapped it up. We finished that pool deck because I was like, I cannot leave right now. We finished that pool deck. I got home, unwrapped everything. I was like, we'll check it out in the morning. Went back the next morning to finish up pouring the rest of that pool deck. Got it done, and I had a Band-Aid and duct tape on it just where it wouldn't get nasty. But the next day, after we went and finished that pool deck, I went in and got stitches, and I either got 4 or 5 stitches, and the doctor only did. He didn't numb it as good as he should have because he was kind of mad that I didn't come in here. So, and Bill says, concrete is just coarse sharpening stone. Yeah, pretty much. It sharpened my daggum finger. Safran says, I see 13 thumbs up. It's showing 8 thumbs up on mine. So, but of course it shows that there's 17 people in here, and I don't think that it's actually right. So I don't know who knows about that, but I show 8, but we'll go with 13. I'll take 13. I don't care. Michael Hamilton, good morning to you. So glad you made it in this morning. All right. Michael says he sees 11 here. All right. Wouldn't it be nice that this multi-billion-dollar company of YouTube, if all of it would be the same? So I'm seeing 8, somebody's seeing 13, somebody's seeing 11. So who knows? Maybe nobody's really here and everybody's AI bots, and I'm just talking to AI bots. Have you ever really thought about that? So, all right. Bill says 13 out of 15 is what I'm saying. Yeah. So, Michael, are you really an AI bot? Is that what you're telling me? Can AI bots laugh out loud? I don't know. So, all right, let's see, Jason. My dad cut the end of his finger off while he was grinding feed and grabbed an old sock out of the truck, wrapped it up, and kept on working. Went to the ER later and had to have surgery to repair. Tougher than nails. Exactly. So, I mean, it's you hear about. There's one great TikTok. The guy's like, they're acting like they're in an emergency room or something like that, and they're like, "Holy crap! A farmer called, and he's coming in," and it's just like, "Oh my gosh, what's the big deal?" And this guy's like new, and he's like, "Farmers only call when they're on death's doorstep for an ambulance ride." And they're like, "Oh, really?" And, like the farmer gets out and, he's like, "Yeah, I've been having chest pains or something like that for the last 3 or 4 hours." And it's like, "Well, why didn't you do this?" He's like, "Well, I had to get the cows fed and I had to get the fence fixed about my heart." Some of the older dudes are just tough as all kinds of nails for sure. Ian, where'd you go? It's too early for that mind trip. Yes, it is. And I think I'm here. Hey, what if I'm just an hallucination and y'all are talking to an AI bot and this is all just green screen behind me and I'm one of those like you see on TikTok, the AI created stuff. So you didn't think about that. John, back to work for me. Keep up. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you being here. Bill says an AI bot ain't as bad at spelling as I am. Yes, I guess we could do that. It was like, man, this guy cannot spell, so he's definitely not an AI bot. But the AI bot might be smart enough to misspell some stuff to be like, yeah, this guy's a hillbilly down in Jackson, Tennessee. So we never know. Let's see, Forrest. If a tourniquet is the most important tool for saving lives, then the second should be hemostatic gauze for wound packing in areas where you can't get the tourniquet, like a torso or neck. Exactly. And that's what we're getting into. All right. Trauma care stuff. We've covered the boo-boos and the stuff like that. You cut your finger while you're cooking dinner. Your kid falls down, scrapes his knee. You've got the stuff to do that. So trauma care is about life-threatening emergencies that immediate action must be taken or that person is going to die. So we're talking about examples of that. Severe bleeding, you're hemorrhaging out. Gunshot wounds, knife wounds, farm accidents, amputations, penetrating trauma. If you've got penetrating trauma into your chest cavity, you've got something like that. Broken bones with deformities, you broke your bone and your bone's sticking out. You've got problems. Sucking chest wounds, massive burns, airway obstructions, if you're not breathing, on how to take care of that. All right. If you live out in the country, which a lot of us do, or if you live, semi-rural, or in your grid down situation, EMS might not be there in time to do anything. Honestly, EMS is not going to be there if you've got trauma care is a life or death difference. Getting trauma care is the difference between living or dying. Average response time from EMS, this is straight from the interwebs. In an urban area is 7 minutes. A rural area is 14 minutes or more. You're going to be unconscious if you have a severe bleed. You're going to be unconscious within 60 to 90 seconds. If your femoral artery is cut and bleeding out, you're looking at 60 to 90 seconds. When we do it and we do putting tourniquets on, you want to be able to put that tourniquet on within 60 seconds to make sure that you've not passed out in there, because after 60 to 90 seconds, you're probably going to be unconscious to where you cannot put a tourniquet on and do self-aid for yourself. So that's kind of that minute thing. So you're looking 7 minutes in an urban area, is average time. You're dead. I mean, you're graveyard dead. They might as well go ahead and just bring the coroner out there if you've got a massive bleed for something. So that's why having these trauma kits is super important for it. Stuff that you should have in there. You're looking at tourniquets, whether you want to get a cat, you want to get a soft T, or one of the different brands, have a tourniquet, but have a reputable tourniquet. Don't get one of these Chinese tourniquets. They break too easy. I'm a fan of the cats and the soft Ts. Those are the two that we carry on the website right now. I use both of those. The soft T will fold down a little bit smaller than a cat, so I like it. If you're carrying it in your pockets, stuff like that, it's just a little bit smaller. The cats, most of the time when people say tourniquets, they think of a cat. A cat's just a little bit bigger, but not too much bigger. I thought I had a cat sitting here. I've got a bunch in packages, but I don't want to open those. But stuff you want to have. Cat tourniquet, you want to have some kind of pressure bandage, like a trauma bandage. People call them an Israeli bandage is what everybody calls that. So you want to have an Israeli bandage. The hemostatic gauze, like your Quick Clot, your Celox, you can have those in there. They are expensive. They're running, 30 to 40 to 50 bucks for those. They work good. They've got the clotting agent in those. So when you're packing wounds, you can do that, or you can get the plain regular gauze for packing wounds. If you want to spend the money on that, spend the money on it. But if it's down to where hey, I want to get a tourniquet or I want to have the Quick Clots, I would buy a tourniquet and then buy regular compressed gauze for wound packing. And if you're on a super limited budget, I've got a lot of Quick Clots and combat gauze in my bags just because I bought those. I found the deals on them, stuff like that. So you can do that. Some of the other stuff, chest wounds or chest seals for penetrating chest wounds. You need to seal up your pleural space. If it gets popped, you need to patch that hole. And don't forget, if you've got an entrance wound, you might have an exit wound. So look at that. Buy the twin packs. That's what we sell, or the hyphen twin packs. So you've got a front and a back on there. And NPA, nasopharyngeal airway, with lube. If you don't have lube, you can always stick that NPA in somebody's mouth, get some spit on it, and use it as lube to slide in to get an airway. You've got to have an airway. If your person's not breathing, you need to do an airway on these people. Trauma shears. You need a good set of trauma shears. I've got, and this is even before we started selling medical stuff, I have got bukus of trauma shears. I use them for all kinds of stuff. There's trauma shears, 2 or 3 trauma shears sitting in the junk drawer upstairs. There's trauma shears in my truck. their shears down in the shop. I use them for just cutting all kinds of crap. I use them a bunch for work too, for cutting stuff at work. But trauma shears, emergency blankets, you know, the small little Mylar blankets, those things are dirt cheap. You can get those, use them for a lot of stuff. If somebody's in shock, you need to keep them warm, so you can put a Mylar blanket over them. Another thing, Sam splint. Some of them come rolled, some of them come folded flat, but there's an aluminum splint. It's an aluminum inside and a padded foam around it, so you can mold it and do a bunch of different stuff with it for, you know, breaks and sprains and stuff like that for splints on a patient. So that's the stuff for your trauma kit. That's going to handle major emergencies, major life-threatening emergencies that have to be dealt with right now until EMS or a higher level of care becomes available and gets there to help them. So let's run. We've had a bunch of comments. Let's see. Jason said, I learned it while in the Army that everything can be cured by drinking water and changing your socks. I guess it could. That's going to help a lot of stuff. And then Michael says, as far as EMS, try 45 minutes or more here. Yeah. We're not super rural or anything, but it still takes it takes a few minutes for them to get here. Our volunteer fire department have some good first responder guys. They are amazing, and we've had to use them before on different things, and man, they get here pretty stinking quick, honestly. And Bill, I really couldn't do anything about the situation with my leg when I shattered the tibia and broke it into 4 pieces, along with dislocating one of the joints. Probably the only thing you could have done is splinted that joker and called EMS. That sounds like a horrible time right there. So about the only thing, honestly, you could do with that is splint that thing and not try to put any weight on it until EMS shows up. And Jason says, seriously though, we were issued tampons to put in gunshot wounds to help slow the bleeding until we got the soldier to aid. That, man, the people are still doing that. It's like, I'm going to carry some tampons in my IFAC. Man, if you really look and pull a tampon out and see how much cotton is in there compared to the gauze, you'll be like, holy crap. I need to get some. I need to get and pull a tampon apart and then show what in any of the gauze, just the rolled gauze or our compressed gauze that we've got. There's a major difference in that. But don't put tampons in your IFAC. I can't believe that y'all are actually issued tampons for that. That's kind of funny. So Fran, I have family that lives in God's country. If you're wanting on emergency response or a trip to the hospital in an emergency, you ain't making it without divine intervention. Yeah. I mean, in some places, I mean, yeah, just like Michael said, 45 minutes plus if you're lucky. And hacks for the homesteader. Cornstarch works as a quick clot as well. Yeah. And also, yeah, and Bill said it too. Cayenne pepper will work as a clotting agent too. And let me see. This is Miss Sharon. Don't chainsaw by yourself. A surgeon I worked with at St. Thomas, Nashville, died from femoral artery bleed when a tree fell on his leg. Yeah. And you want to have, I mean, if you are out doing chainsaw work, you really don't want to be alone, but you do. As far as chainsaw work, you want to have, I would want 1, if not 2 tourniquets and 2 or 3 things of gauze with me. I mean, I always have, if I'm doing chainsaw stuff, I've got 1 tourniquet all the time with me and a thing of gauze, and I will usually take one of my IFACs with me and have it sitting real close. Most of the time, if I'm using the chainsaw, I've got the tractor down there close, so I'll put one of my IFACs in the tractor or on the bucket close by when we're cutting stuff to have extra material there, because chainsaws are no joke, and that's for darn sure. Let me see. The surgeon was found deceased taking off his belt to make a tourniquet. He left his cell phone in the truck. Yeah, exactly. Doc always had water and ibuprofen. Yes, I tell you, water and ibuprofen will solve a lot of issues for sure. Let's see. Tampons are treated with anti-clotting agent. Don't do that. Yes, exactly. Don't. I mean, all right. I don't know what a box of tampons costs. Truth in advertising. So what does a box of tampons cost? Here, we'll pull it up. Oh my gosh. All right. We need to take a quick break. I was going to put in tampons for sale. I put in tampons and I'm using Google. The two top searches that came up, it says tampons for women. And you want to know what the second one is? It's tampons for men. That's the world we're living in. That's the second Google search is tampons for men. Men don't need tampons. Men don't have a period. Women have a period. Men don't. Is that not some screwed up shit? All right, we'll jump out of the rabbit hole. Let's see how much. All right. $6.88 is the first thing that popped up for a box. Okay. All right, $6.88 for a box. You can get a ton of gauze for $6.88 that know that you work. Tampons for men. Who knew? All right. $6.88, $8.93 at Walmart. So I mean, you can get a fair amount of rolled gauze for that much, and you know the gauze work as opposed to a tampon. So we'll do that. And I don't know. I'm kind of dumbfounded. I kind of wished I wouldn't. I wished I would have waited for somebody in chat to tell me how much they cost, so I didn't have to find out that there are tampons for men. So let's see, Bill. It was not immediately painful, but when EMS arrived, they couldn't believe I wasn't in shock because I was white as a sheet. I bet you were. And Jason, that was during early part of Enduring Freedom. We didn't have access to quick clock packs. We're an aviation company, and it was something that they gave to the flight crews. All right. Well, that's interesting that they do that. And then Michael, we do have insurance for medevac to Green Bay or one of the other hospitals. Yes. And hey, I tell you what, they do have the insurance. It's a life flight around here that you've got insurance to where it'll pay if you have to be medevaced out and everything. That is really good. I've talked to some people that have had to use that before, and they're like, if we didn't have this, we would be on the hook for a bunch of money. And I forgot how much it was, but it was crazy. So that might be something for people to look at as medevac insurance. And Ian says, whoever wants to use tampons for bullet wounds is clearly never trained to pack a wound. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, that's the military. Let's go ahead and just give the guys some tampons. We really don't care about them. So not getting on you, Jason, but that's just kind of crazy. All right. So guys, that's some of the key differences on that. Let me see. All right. We'll go over key differences real quick on basic first aid and trauma care stuff. Basic first aid, common everyday injuries. Your focus, clean, cover, and make it comfortable. Wound cleaning, bandaging, OTC meds. Your supplies, pretty much Band-Aids, ointment, OTC stuff. You want to prevent on your basic first aid. You want to keep it clean, prevent infection, and promote healing on it. Trauma care stuff is like life-threatening emergencies. You're focusing on stopping the bleed, maintain airway, and keep them alive until a higher level of care can come. Your stuff, your skills on it, tourniquets, wound packing, and airway support. Your supply stuff that you need, the big three, hemostatics, chest seals, tourniquet, and keep the person alive until a higher level of care arrives. So that's what I've got. Some of the training stuff that you can take There's first aid courses. The Red Cross do those all the time. You can go to those for free if you want to. Some of the Stop the Bleed classes, I know that they can do like a 4-hour Stop the Bleed. Some of the places do it for free. And hey, thanks for stopping in. I will probably be listening to LP here in just a little bit. He didn't jump on this morning, so I hadn't seen him. I've got to talk to him about some stuff here in the next little bit. So get training. We're working on some training stuff here. That's one of the things we're working on behind the scenes. So those are the differences. I kind of wanted to touch on that. Let y'all know basic first aid stuff as far and versus your trauma care. So we've got all that stuff. If you want to check it out, we've got basic first aid supplies. We've also got all the trauma stuff, the Cool Guy Ninja stuff on the website that will keep you alive. So we've got that. I just kind of wanted to talk about it for a while. And Bill, I got to go to work. Bill, I appreciate you being here, and we will see you Tuesday, Bill, when I'm back from, where'd it go? You can get Life Flight in Southern Indiana without insurance, but it'll cost you. Yeah, that's what I was saying. With the insurance, it's not near as much, but it costs a big bunch of money if you don't have the insurance. So I would hate to pay that bill. So, guys, if y'all don't have any questions or any other comments, I appreciate you being here. I've got to go do some work. I've got to pack a few orders, get those sent out, and everybody happy. And then I've got to go to my brother's house and hook his hot water heater back up. I unhooked it yesterday to do some tile work, so we're going to slide it back in today and get it going. But I'm going to pack some orders, get some stuff shipped out. If y'all need anything, go to the website. Take a look. If you've got any questions, email me or Shelly. Contact info is on the website. And if you got any questions, shoot it to us. We'll be happy to help you with that. And Darren is leaving. See you, Darren. But, guys, I appreciate you being here. I will be back Tuesday morning, same time, same place. If you need anything, let me know. Y'all have a great weekend and be careful. I appreciate it.